Hello, my name is Chris and I'm the developer behind the Cradle of Heroes RuneQuest in Glorantha character creation app. This is a intro video into how the app works and the different things you can do with it. There are several of these videos on the channel and each one goes through a different section. This really is going to be an overview of that. You can see Cradle of Heroes at www.cradleofheroes.net and let's get going. So, RuneQuest in Glorantha is a fairly new role-playing game. RuneQuest itself is quite old, but this is the latest iteration, published by Chaosium last year. And it's an amazing game. It's also a very complicated game. It can take pretty easily an hour and a half to 2 hours to create characters. There's a lot of manual calculations as you're going through, so I created this app to basically help that and help me to manage both the campaigns that I'm running as well as help my players as we're going along. So that's the purpose of the app. This is the main page, so when you show up, this is where you're going to arrive. This is kind of a little bit of introduction to what the app is about, and right down here, this is the video that you're watching right now. So if new people show up on the site, they'll come here, hopefully learn a little bit about the game and the app, and then go onwards. What the app is actually about, though, is creating and managing characters. So this is, as somebody who's not signed in, what you will see. So you've got a whole bunch of characters made by a whole bunch of people. Right now, I think there's about 600 characters that have been created with the app by about 400 people. So it's getting some good uptake, and there's a lot of really interesting things on the site. The interesting thing, of course, is not an index or a roster of the characters, but it's actually going in and having a look at the different characters that are here. So if we pick Urzad, for example, this is a character screen. So within this screen you can see the basic information, so what is their occupation, their homeland, which cult are they following, a picture, a description, standard of living, etc., all the characteristics, attributes, runes, passions, etc. There's a skills section a little bit further down, and here you can see all of the advanced skills. These are the skills that you've actually put points into through character creation. Or you can click all, and you can see all of the character skills. So if you need to kind of look or check on anything else, you can just go to that screen. Below that, there's a gameplay section. And gameplay basically shows you the attacks that you've got, ranged and melee, your equipment, your hit locations, and armor. So on one page, you basically have everything you need to play the game. You've got everything you need for your character. You can hop back and forth between the different sections pretty quickly, so it just makes it very easy to get around. Now, we're not signed in right now, so the first thing you're going to want to do is actually log in or register. So very simply, if you have a Google account, you can just log in with Google, and I'll actually click that instead of, and there. So I've now signed in as myself using my Google account. And from here I have access to a couple of other things. So I can look at my content, so the characters that I have created in the app. I use a different name, but I've created probably 30, 40 of characters on the platform. And within here I can go in and I can then manage my characters as well. So I can go in and I can check and say, all right, I got a couple of skill checks here, so I'll save those. Or, the troll's been hit in the head, so you'll notice the hit points go down, so you can manage equipment and everything else. You can also edit, so you can edit the character, add new skills or passions, change up magic. You can copy the character if you want to use it as a base for a new character, and do a lot of stuff like that. So also within my content you have factions, and factions are basically, so what we'll do, factions are basically ways to add characters together. So pretty easily you can look at any other open character. So when you create a character on the platform, you have the option to make it open, in which case everyone can see it, or closed, in which case only you can. Open characters can basically be borrowed by other people. So this is one of my other characters from my admin account, but I can add that character to my roster with one button click. So this is now my version of the character. I can go into factions, I'll add a faction, and I'll just call it Heroes of the Old World. And I'm going to take the two characters that I have, and I'll add them to that faction. And then within the faction, I have kind of a summary of what the character is about, and I've got both the characters in there. So you could do this as your character with their steeds or summoned spirits, or you could have your party there if you're a GM, so you've got access to their top skills, their magic, their weapons and stuff like that. And basically it helps you to manage the characters. And single button click brings you back, and you can then go into the full character screen. So that is the app, basically. It makes it very easy to create characters, makes it very easy to manage them and track all of the in-game stuff that's going on, and it basically cuts down the time to create a character from, again, up to 2 hours to less than 10 minutes. So we're going to cut this video off here. If you do have any questions, feel free to post a comment. You can also see me on Twitter at D20Dev. Thanks so much, and take care.